welcome back to the channel. Today we will take a look at the new Christmas boxes from Wargaming's Christmas event. I picked up 105 boxes, like about 25 or a little bit more from each of the different types: New Year, Christmas, Lunar, and Magic. I only managed to get two of the tanks that you're looking at on my screen. The first one being the Toro, the Tier 9 Italian heavy tank, and this one, the Czechoslovakian Tier 8 light tank with the machine gun mechanic. So let's take a look at what you get in these boxes from Wargaming's website. As usual, Wargaming will include different types of in-game stuff, ranging from premium time days, gold, to like credits and vehicles. This year's new addition to the game being the 3D attachments. So, for example, for premium time, you can either get 1, 3 or 7 days of World of Tanks premium account time. You can also get a minimum, and this is a guaranteed amount of gold, of 250 gold, but you can also get sometimes either 500 or 1,000 gold. For credits, you either get 100,000 credits or 500,000. At a much lower chance, you also can get Tier 8 or 9 premium vehicles with a garage slot, obviously. You can also get sometimes Tier 2 or Tier 5 premium vehicles with a garage slot. 3D styles for some Tier 9 or Tier 10 vehicles, new ones. And you can also get some of the previous year's 3D styles from the large boxes. Of course, as I already explained, this year we get a new type of objects or in-game commodities, which is the 3D attachments that we will be checking in the game, and obviously the decorations that will allow you to decorate your Christmas tree and improve its level, so you can get some more credit boosters and also XP boosters, if I think, at least. When it comes to buying the boxes, as usual, Wargaming will offer you different bundles at different discounts. So you can either, for example, get only 3 large boxes at a 10% discount, going all the way to 40% discount if you decide to get 60 large boxes. You can also buy a certain type of boxes, New Year, Christmas, Lunar or Magic, at different discounts depending on the number of boxes you get. As for the content of these boxes, as I already explained, you will be getting 250 gold, which in my opinion is actually the best way of buying gold if you really need it, because you're not only getting gold but also a chance of getting more stuff with the amount you're paying. So you will be getting resources to decorate your Christmas city, your in-game Christmas village. 250 gold or a little bit more, like 500, 1,000 gold, which is an 85.94% chance of getting these stuff. So as you will be able to see, I got so many premium time, gold and credits from buying these boxes. You can also get decorations to decorate your tree and your village. And what everyone is obviously looking for, the Tier 8 premium vehicles, or 9, the Toro and the DZT 159 being Tier 9 vehicles. And it is well worth noting that you will only have 2.4% chance of getting one of these vehicles, with the exception of having a guaranteed chance to get one of these vehicles if you open 50 boxes without one of these vehicles being gifted to you. So that simply translates to uh, if you buy 100 boxes, you have like by a little less than 2.4. It's actually 2% chance of getting one of these vehicles. And that's exactly what I got, because after opening 105 boxes, I only got two vehicles. One of them being the Toro, and the other being the VZ68 Squall. And honestly, these two vehicles were not the ones I was looking for. I wanted more the DZT and these two, the FV226 Contradictious or the XM57. These vehicles being more aligned with my playstyle than a light tank, which doesn't actually play like a light tank, and I'll explain why in a moment. And the Toro, which is a very weird combination of different stats that, in my opinion, does not make sense in some ways. And you also get some garage slots in form of tier 5, tier 2 or tier 5 tanks. In my case, I like almost never play anything under tier 6. So these don't really matter for me. You can also get 3D styles, new ones actually. One for the VZ55, the tier 10 heavy tank. This one, like really good, but I did not get it, sadly. I got the one for the grill 15, and I find this one to be really cool. I will be showcasing it. You also get two styles for two different tanks. One of them being the Centurion Action X, or the tier 9 British TD, the Tortoise. There are also two new styles for tier 9 vehicles, one being the Skoda T50 or the tier 9 American artillery, the M53 55. You also have the chance to get 3D styles from previous years. I think these two and maybe the other ones as well are from last year's boxes. What is new this year is that you also get 3D attachments, and that being at only 6% chance. This is a cool addition to the game. You have choice, or more like a chance to get 3D attachments from 3 different categories. I managed to get some of these, but not all of them, and I think this being at 6% is a little bit on the lower side, in my opinion. As for the stats, as I already explained earlier, the DZT 159 is one of the more powerful tanks from the 5 that these boxes offer this year. This being a well armored medium tank with a turbo boost. So you get jet boosters. I think you get 8 of them, and they are a lot more powerful than the ones we are used to with the Chinese vehicles, because this one will boost you from, I think with some equipment and field modifications, you can get this thing to drive at 80 kilometers an hour, all the way from the base stats, which is only 40 kilometers an hour. The downside with the system is that it only lasts for 5 seconds, but having 8 of them, I think, will allow you to move around the battlefield in a more flexible way. In addition to the armor and the punchy gun, 440 alpha on a tier 9 decent medium tank is a powerful combination. The DPM is okay in my opinion, because 440 at 11 seconds reload with decent penetration, I would say a little bit lack a little bit low precision, because you only get 0.4 dispersion on a tier 9. That may be a little bit problematic, but with the right equipment and a skillful crew, you can get this to a reasonable amount. 7 degrees of gun depression, more than enough to work with this well armored turret. 390 view range is also decent, and yeah, I think this is a very powerful tank. As for the Toro, the tier 9 one, this is one of the 2 tanks that I got from the boxes. This is a Italian heavy tank with the auto reloading mechanic, which means that the more you fire, the lower your DPM gets, because each time you fire, your reload gets longer. The first shell being at 11 seconds, then it goes to 13, then 15, then 17 seconds. And add to that the 360 alpha on a tier 9 heavy tank. This for me makes no sense. You do get decent between shots loading time, but I don't think this justifies the really low alpha damage in my opinion. The penetration is not that good either. The gun is surprisingly really accurate from the games I played. Decent gun depression that you will need to use like all the time if you want to this thing to bounce any shots, because it also comes with a gigantic cupola above the tank that can get penned like by everything you'll meet. I think the cupola on this thing can even get penned by like tier 6 tanks, no problem. The turret is okay. It can withstand most tier 9 guns if they're not firing like high penetration gold ammo from TDs or from certain tanks. And overall, I think the tank is not a very good vehicle. It does move fast, top speed being 45. If you use turbo on this tank, you can play it more like a hybrid, like a slow medium tank with a auto reloading mechanic. But I think this tank definitely needs some love from Wargaming. I was actually I thought that they were going to buff it before introducing it into the game, but they did not. And in my opinion, this tank is not a very good vehicle. It is very, very situational, and if you get the wrong map, or you're facing like really good heavy tanks, your team is simply down a heavy tank. The XM57 is one of the tanks that I did not manage to get. I think it's an okay tank. I mean, 630 alpha damage at tier 8 with, of course, a long reload time. It can work on some maps. This is a very slow tank because the top speed is only 24, but with maybe a bounty or bound turbo, you can get this with the right field modifications to maybe like 28, 29, maybe more. The gun is really derpy, so this is definitely a short range, close combat style TD. You cannot snipe with this thing. I mean, you can, but it will not be efficient. So you'll be better off setting this tank as a brawling TD, playing really close The armor can work. I mean, the armor is decent, but if you're facing people with enough knowledge to shoot the weak spots, it might get a little bit hard. The Contradictious, the FE 226 or 226, is a new addition to the game. This is the first British double barrel tank, but unlike the Russian ones, for example, the Object 730 or the SU 220, I think. Yeah. This tank comes with a different mechanic because you don't need to hold a button to be able to unload a salvo. You actually have two different modes on this tank. The single fire mode, which gives you 11 seconds reload for 360 alpha. Very good accuracy for a heavy tank. And I think it also changes the speed of the tank. So switching between these two modes changes completely how the tank performs regarding the gun, regarding the mobility, and as you can see, when you fire a salvo, you have 1.2 dispersion, which I think is maybe one of the highest at tier 8 on any tank, apart from artillery. But I did not get the tank, so I did not get to try it. But I did watch some people playing this tank, and honestly, I have no idea how, but it just works. Even with this dispersion, people seem to be hitting like 70 to 80% of all their salvo, double shot. Like I don't know how this works, but yeah, it just proves that some stats on these tanks in some situations make like no sense whatsoever. The last one is the new light tank from the Czechoslovakian line, the VZ68 Squall. This tank is a very weird combination because like you get the machine gun mechanic, which is cool and everything, but it's really not my cup of tea. This is not a light tank in my opinion because you don't get the light tank capabilities of spotting and not being spotted if you know how you play and where to go on different maps. For example, starting with the speed, this thing goes 55 kilometers an hour only, and I'm not gonna put a turbo on a light tank because I need those slots, the equipment slots for other things that are more important in my opinion. For example, having enough view range to outspot your opponents, and also enough camo rating to remain unspotted on open maps and when you get to key positions. Not only that, but this tank does not have a really good camo rating to begin with. So even if you have a very good crew, and that is my case, I did not find this tank to be really that well sneaky. The gun is also not a very good gun because, if I'm not mistaken, you get less DPS or DPM compared to the tier 8 non-premium tank. If you don't fire HE, then you're not gonna do a lot of damage if you fire only APCR or AP, because as you can see, you get really low damage per shot. I don't know, maybe some other people will like this tank, but I definitely did not like it. I would have preferred getting any of the other tanks than this one. It doesn't like match my playstyle at all. I play a lot of light tanks. I 3-marked my EBR, the tier 8 one. I play a lot of LT, both tier 8 and tier 9, the Russian ones as well, the Manticore. I'm not a big fan of ELC because I think that tank can be really toxic on certain maps. But this one, in my opinion, it's really not a light tank. You need to play this in a different way. This is not a sneaky early game bush camping sneaky spotting lighting. This is more like a ambush lighting that you can use like to counter enemy lightings with HE, or just ambush people, catch them off guard, and shoot them in the side or the rear, and that's it. And that, sadly, you cannot do this on every map, and so yeah, it's another situational thing. So that's it for this part. Now we're gonna jump into the boxes opening part. So now let's take a look at in detail what I got from these boxes. As you can see, we're looking at Wargaming's intro from the previous years. They kept exactly the same animations. Starting with the first type of boxes, the New Year's boxes. For the first part of this video, I will be keeping the animations activated, and you'll be able to see that exactly how I explained it in the first part of the video. From on the first part of me opening these boxes, I managed to get mainly gold and credits, not a lot of vehicles. As you can see, mostly it's the average or the minimum 250 gold with different decorations and resources. The occasional credits as well, and premium time. But in my opinion, I don't think I got really lucky with this year's boxes. Again, if you're looking, oh, I think we got something here. This is the T-54-55, the Tier 9 American Artillery 3D camo, which is some sort of a scuba diving team camo. And I find that to be a little bit weird. And right in the second box after the first camo we got the TVP camo. I mean the Skoda T50 camo. And I find it a little bit weird that Wargaming decided to include 3D camo for Tier 9 tanks. Usually people, when they grind online, they keep mostly Tier 10 tanks, sometimes Tier 8s, because they use them in strongholds and skirmishes, and in some occasions the very strong Tier 9 and Tier 7 tanks. For example, in my case, I kept the T30, the T95, and some other vehicles on Tier 9 as well, but I mean, for me the Skoda T50 is not that special. It is a good vehicle, but it's not something that I would keep in my garage. So for them to include a 3D style for this vehicle is a little bit weird. As for the M53 and M55, I also find it a little bit weird, because the choice itself is a little bit interesting. They decided to pick the one artillery that is a little bit, I wouldn't say overpowered, but above average, because it packs a powerful gun as well as being really fast, so you can move around the battlefield easily and avoid getting caught by enemy lightings and vehicles. It's also one of a few artilleries that pack a turret, so it is a very flexible vehicle. So yeah, as you can see, we've already opened a lot of boxes. Now we are into the Christmas boxes, and we haven't gotten any Tier 8 or Tier 9 premium vehicles yet, and we're not far away from the 50 boxes mark, which will guarantee us a premium vehicle, either Tier 8 or Tier 9 one. Again, if you're looking into getting gold or credits, this might be a reasonable way, because you'll get your money's worth of gold at least, and you also get to improve your Christmas village and tree way faster than just by grinding the game and playing missions. Um, then again, gold in this game is not what it used to be. This is not a very, how to say, um, valuable commodity like it used to be before. So now we're into the lunar boxes. We have already opened 40 boxes and we haven't gotten any vehicles yet. We are not far away from the 50 boxes mark, as I already explained. And we get another 3D camo. This one is, if I'm not mistaken, the Centurion Action X camo, which is something they made, I think, in collaboration with Jason Statham. And another weird choice, in my opinion, because the Centurion Action X is one of the vehicles that already have a 3D camo from the Battle Pass events, and I think they would have done better picking another tank that does not have any 3D camo. So as you can see, we managed to get one of one of the tier 8 or tier 9 premium tanks. This is the Toro, the tier 9 Italian heavy tank, which is okay, as I already explained in the first part of the video, but it is not the best, in my opinion, from all the 5 vehicles they packed in these boxes. I will continue opening the boxes. Maybe we get lucky this time and we get something before the number of boxes hits the 50 mark again. We're now opening the third type of boxes, the lunar ones, and we're mostly getting like the very basic stuff: 250 gold, some credits, some premium time, and the usual resources. So yeah, like this is not very helpful for someone who's trying to get the tier 8 or tier 9 premium tanks. I believe if you really want to get all the vehicles, you'll need to buy at least like 300 boxes, and that would cost you a lot. So I advise you not to. Just don't get any boxes, or like a very minimum. Another 3D camo. This one is the tier 9 Tortoise. This one I think makes some sense because this is also a powerful and fun tank to keep in your garage. Although I think the 3D camo itself is really lacking in they did not do an amazing job with this one, and they could have maybe made something a little bit more original, given the fact that it is a tortoise, so maybe something themed or inspired from a true turtle. Yeah, so we're keeping up. Now we are into the fourth type of the boxes, the magic ones, and we haven't gotten any more tanks other than the Toro. Now another 3D style. This one is really cool. This one is the Grail 15's 3D style, which is inspired from a fishing rod, I guess. And this one is one of my favorite vehicles, so I was actually glad I got this one. So we keep on opening these boxes.
Hey, wake up.
As you can see, we're not really getting lucky with these boxes so far. I believe for someone who's trying to get the tier 8 premium or tier 9 premium tanks, this would be a very, how to say, disappointing result. And we get one of the 3D attachments that I talked about earlier. So you can see that you can attach this 3D stuff onto certain tanks. So far, they haven't allowed it or enable it for all the tanks. There is only like, I think it's like maybe 25 to 30 tier 10 tanks and some tier 9 and tier 8 tanks as well. Another one. This one is really cool. The ones that have this purple background, they have 3D animations that kick in right after the battle starts. So yeah, we're almost done with the boxes. I got another, I think 25 boxes to open from the New Year's type, and only did that because since I wasn't far from the 50 boxes mark, I was thinking it would be maybe worth it to get a tier 8 or tier 9 premium tank. And I think this is how Wargaming imagined it. They were sure that people who were not far from the 50 boxes mark will think the same way, and they will just end up getting more boxes to get the tank. And we're almost done. So as you can see, we're really close to the 50 boxes mark, and I believe we're not gonna get anything before the 2.4 or 2.6. Yeah, it was 2.4% chance is really showing its ugly face here, and unless you're really lucky, you'll end up probably having similar luck. But yeah, now that we hit the 50 boxes mark again, we're gonna get another tank, and as you already know, this is going to be the Squall, the tier 8 Czechoslovakian light tank with the machine gun mechanic, which is one of the I think weak tanks they introduced with this event. It's not a very powerful tank. As you can see, if you already got the tier 5 and tier 2 premium tanks, you get a gold compensation, which is either 500 or 900 gold for each tank. and you also keep the garage slot, of course. Still opening more boxes. I think we are not far away from the end. And overall, I think this was not a very pleasant experience. Um, Given the fact that I did not get the tanks I was wishing to get, and we only got 2 out of 105 boxes. So that's it for this video. I think that for people who did not buy boxes, I think you should think twice before you get any of these boxes. It depends on how many you'll buy, and it also depends on how many, what kind of stuff you're looking to get by buying these boxes. If it's only the tanks, then you'll be better off just waiting, and maybe Wargaming will end up selling these tanks directly in their in-game or website shops. But if you need gold and credits and all that, then yeah, it's not a very bad deal. Again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and see you soon.